This is we're live. So, hey guys, welcome back to the Unpolished podcast. So today is really unique. I do not have my producer. My producer has moved out of state, actually. So, we are introducing Guncle. This is well, he's not my great uncle, but he's my boy's great uncle, Uncle John Dobbins. So I want to introduce you a couple different ways.
Yeah.
So I feel like, number one, I want to just say I love you so much.
Aww.
Thank you so much for coming and doing this. I've asked you to do this for a long time.
I know.
Long time. But John and I's relationship, I feel like, is not like any other uncle and nephew's relationship. Like you and I have gotten to do what I wish my dad and I got to do. You know, like, so my dad got to mentor me and teach me and do all that stuff with me. And then we didn't get to be men together.
Yeah.
We didn't get to be best friends together, even though he was my best friend. And I realized that really late in the game. I remember sending him a letter and just telling him he was my best friend. And, but we didn't really get to be men together. And that's something that you and I have gotten to do over these past, ever since Dad passed, it did take our relationship kind of to another level.
It did.
It's kind of the benefit of losing someone so close. You realize life is extremely precious.
Yeah.
And you lean into the people that you love a ton, and you're one of those people that I lean into. Yeah, I'm kicking you off, baby. Yeah. Yeah, John,
but I would say
ahead,
too is just watching, our closeness and watching what you've done since college. So that 2015 has been impressive too. So being here today is just, the things we're going to talk about today are things we've talked off, the
whole time. Yeah.
But it's just good to support you and to support, your mission too.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Unpolished Show. Today's episode is brought to you by Pace Insurance. I've talked about Phil before. Phil is the best experience I've ever had when it comes to insurance. It's funny because the guest today is my uncle and he does insurance, but I've used Phil forever. He's hooked me up more than you can possibly know. He's given me all the options. So make sure you check out Phil with Pace Insurance and mention the show, and he'll help you out. Thanks, guys. This episode is brought to you by Kissed by Fire Barbecue. Like I've told you in the past, I would not advertise or partner with anyone unless I truly believe in their product or their service. And Dave Glomp and his family, I've trained his family, I've trained his daughter, I've trained his son. Actually, now Dave is training, which is amazing. I've only been in his ear for 8 years now for getting in the gym with me, but I'm happy to see him in the gym. He's an awesome guy, awesome family. Their values align with us. Not to mention the mac and cheese, the barbecue, everything that this guy serves is so freaking good. So if you ever get a chance to hire a food truck, Kissed by Fire Barbecue is 100% the way to go. Yeah, and then the other introduction that I wanted to give you was, during COVID, there was all this. I was anti everything the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. Like you were in on those group messages that I was sending the whole family. Like, hey, don't get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Don't fall for the crap. This is all propaganda. Yeah. This is all BS. I did this very early on. And you ended up getting the shot.
Yeah.
Why did you get let's go there. Why did you?
I was heavily involved in the church, Our Lady of Ransom. I was involved in the church and opening it up. And at the time, there was a lot of senior population, more senior than me. And at the time, there was a lot of concern. So everybody when we were opening it up, everybody was like, oh, we're getting the COVID shot. And I kind of felt like a duty for the church. I did. And that was the catalyst.
And I don't blame people for doing that. The pressure was pretty immense.
Yeah.
I totally understand why people got it. Sort of a hasty decision sometimes for a lot of people, but there was a ton of pressure behind it. And you were literally labeled as this grandma and grandpa killer if you didn't get it.
Yeah.
It was very obvious the pressure and you're going to lose your job and this and that, and if you get the shot, you won't get COVID, and all this stuff that was just being thrown at you that obviously at this point we know none of it was really true. Right.
I think there's still a confusion though. To your point.
Right. Well, the evidence is out there that it's not true.
Yeah.
That the beginning was not true, that it was overblown. But I agree with you. I think so many people still don't know.
Yeah.
They still don't know.
Yeah.
So during COVID, it was, and I didn't know for a long time. You didn't tell me the stuff that happened to you in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so when you told me, I probed a lot. I asked a lot of questions. I did give you a lot of shit for not telling me. I was mad at you. I was mad at you for not telling me. But there's, when I say like, hey, it causes heart problems, it causes like there are adverse reactions to it. Everyone will be like, well, do you even know anyone? And I'd be like, yeah, I do. My uncle, not like my cousin's friend's uncle. My fucking uncle had problems with the shot.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's a story that I want you to tell.
Yeah.
I want you to tell that story because I've been telling it to a bunch of people that don't believe me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's crazy because...
Come a little closer, or pull the mic towards you, or come a little, just a little bit.
Yeah. I don't do a lot of podcasts, so thank you. Yeah, I think, first and foremost, I was healthy. I was in good shape. So Natalie, my daughter, and we had signed up for
You've always been in good shape, by the way.
I was always in good shape since 2010.
Always.
I hired a trainer in 2010, and I was in pretty good shape in 2021. We were getting ready to do a marathon, and I was doing half, and she was doing half. So we signed up. I was starting to train for that, and
I want to interrupt you.
Say something.
So this is how I describe you sometimes in our relationship. Whenever we see each other, what do you do to me?
No. Oh, I hug you, and then I squeeze your arms.
Yeah. No, it's not just my arms though. You'll literally like.
Okay, that's enough.
It's true though.
Well,
he's like, oh man, you feel great.
Well, since Steven was young, and he became a beast, from that transition from high school to college, it was always like, oh my God, man, I would just watch him.
You
transition.
Feel me up. Just call it how it is.
I don't want that all. It is my
But we share fitness together. We share healthy lifestyles together, and that's I think it's important to share that because this wasn't a one-off. Like a lot of people out of shape got affected, but there were also a ton of healthy people who got affected by this shot.
Yeah.
Like the healthy people had adverse reactions and heart issues. And, so I think it's important. It's a funny way of sharing it, but I think it's important to share that you've always been health conscious.
True.
You've always worked out.
True.
Our nephew uncle dates we're meeting at the gym. We go to the gym. We go get a protein smoothie, and then we go do another gym session.
Do a double. We
would always, every time we hung out, like when we were planning our days, it would be gym, food, gym.
Yeah.
And the second gym would be with the sauna at Lifetime or whatever. But anyways.
Well, and you're one of the most fit people I know. So it's always, it was kind of an honor to work out with you, and I would always bounce things off you. So I always felt like you were my mentor, because of
this is my life. Yeah.
Yeah. Playing college and doing the professional things that you've done. So yes, it's your life.
But anyways, continue with what you were saying. So you're preparing for a marathon. You're healthy. You're a healthy guy.
I was training, and so I took the second COVID vaccination shot in May of 2021. The next day, I passed out, and when I passed out, it was weird. Nobody was home, and then I had some.
Oh, you were by yourself at home?
I was by myself, and when I woke up, it was really crazy. And then I had this back problem. I think I had hit the wall, and then my back. But I had back problems for a couple weeks.
Okay, so hold on. Were you walking around the apartment? Were you? Yeah. You were just walking around, and then all of a sudden, whoa.
No, I was actually I was in the bathtub, and then I got up and I got out of the bathtub. When I got out of the bathtub, all of a sudden I got dizzy. I went to go sit down, and then I passed out. And
wow.
Yeah, and so it was weird because I didn't put anything together other than, oh, I passed out. That's weird. I'm a guy. I didn't go to the hospital. I didn't make a big deal out of it. But I did suffer for like a week and a half, couple weeks with my back, and then I started feeling all this pressure in my heart, and it was weird because there were times when I was driving, it was like I was getting kind of lightheaded. I was at a point in this period before I went to the hospital where I was driving on the right side. I was like, oh, this is what's happening to me. Maybe I'm going to pass out. So that happened for a few weeks. And then the night I went to the hospital.
So hold on. You went weeks?
I went a few weeks because what had happened is after the shot, I contracted myocarditis. Myocarditis is the swelling of the heart. So what started happening is my heart started getting pushed on. So it didn't happen overnight. It wasn't like overnight all of a sudden, I was having a heart attack. But what was happening as it was pushing on me, my heart rate, when I went to the hospital, my heart rate was going down to 30 beats a minute and 5-second pauses. And it was an AFib, so it was all over the place. And so when they saw it, when I went in that night, they didn't know. They're like, you could have blockage. There's two things about the heart. There's the electrical side of it, and there's the blockage side of it. And so they did all those tests over the night, probably a day of tests. And they're like, you don't have blockage. You have electrical issues. Am I looking at you have electrical issues. And as a result of that, I had two doctors. One doctor, the older doctor, was like, we don't know why you have electrical issues. I know this. We'll put a pacemaker in. It's going to work, and you're going to get a pacemaker. There was a younger doctor, and he was about 40. He's like, you know what? I've been studying myocarditis. He's like, there's been a lot of issues with myocarditis in other countries, in males. And so he's the guy who said, we're going to test you for myocarditis. And if it's myocarditis, we're going to treat you this way. And if it's not myocarditis, we're going to put a pacemaker in you. So like day 4 of my first visit into the hospital, I went under, and I didn't know if I was going to have a pacemaker or how I was going to be treated. But when I came out, that's when I went down the path of, you've got myocarditis from the vaccination shot. And it sent me on probably like a 2.5, 3 year of, let's try this, let's try that. And then we finally found a way to get my AFib, my chronic AFib, in rhythm. And so, today I'm in rhythm. Today,
you're on sort of like a 2.0 health journey too.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah,
I got a shirt off picture at like 11 p.m. It was like 11 p.m. and John sends me. Hell yeah, dude. Well, it's our relationship. It's totally normal. It's totally normal. It's totally normal to be excited about being in shape.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I think I was like dozing off or something, and I look up and I just see your shirt off, and I'm just like, whoa, wasn't ready for that. But you look awesome.
It is a 2.0. And, that's a story of how I landed there. But the 2.0 is the fact that what I've realized, and I'm in healthcare insurance and property insurance. I do both. But what I've realized that where the insurance is, and especially after my journey in the hospital and spending over $1 million of healthcare costs, I mean, it's very expensive out there. So I think, my journey of fitness really revolves around the fact that now I see the healthier you are, the costs are a lot less for healthier people. Now, things are going to happen like my vaccination issue and, that cost, but the healthier you are, the better it is for controlling and maintaining healthcare costs. So that's kind of where I've landed. We can talk about that later, but that's why I'm motivated in my version 2 of my health journey too.
Yeah, but it's sort of selfish, but I really want to hone in. I really want to hone in on this. We can call it an "I told you so" moment.
Yeah.
But I freaking try to tell everyone, man. I'm like, listen, the risks do not outweigh the reward because COVID simply is not deadly. It was killing people, and it wasn't. This is sort of that gray area with the numbers, right? Because they were labeling a lot of things COVID deaths, and the hospitals were incentivized to do so. You're aware of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were getting,
Yeah.
if you put someone on a ventilator, they would get $15,000. If you labeled a COVID death, they would get like $30,000. So there's clear incentives to be labeling things as COVID. But it simply was not as deadly as we thought. The vaccine didn't do anything that they said they were going to do. It was 2 weeks to stop the spread, and if you get vaccinated, you won't get COVID. It wasn't true, and they just kept moving the goalposts, moving the goalposts. So I kind of want to, and we could say it's beating a dead horse. I feel like every freaking podcast I do, I talk about this because it's so important that it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
It's so important that you don't fall for it again. Yeah. It's like there's a recent flu shot study. Did you see this?
No.
So the Cleveland Clinic. They they monitored thousands of people, and ultimately they came to the conclusion that there's a negative efficacy with the flu shot. Oh. So you're actually 29% more likely to get the flu if you get the flu shot.
That's what I've always thought, to be honest. It's like I never got the flu shot, and it's kind of like the people that I saw get the flu shot.
They were always sick.
Yeah. And
they're always getting the flu.
And I never did,
And then they're just kind of like, oh man, they don't. It's tough to put two and two together because all the advertising and the media and everything is telling you, oh well, the flu shot saves you from getting the flu. But what are we really saving ourselves from? We're saving ourselves from the flu.
Right.
It's just the flu.
Right.
The flu. It's all measles. Like measles is a fun one for me too, but the flu. Let's not go too far today. But the flu itself, it's just the flu.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've gotten away from the idea that when you get sick, it's like a rep in the weight room for your immune system.
Yeah.
You're priming your immune system. You're giving your immune system something new to defend from and become stronger. And we've really started to ignore that. We've just leaned into pharmaceuticals, which is the most disgusting, vile industry. I mean, there's our Netflix shows that tell us how disgusting and vile big pharmaceutical is.
I've seen a couple of those.
The playbook is out there. You create the problem, you diagnose the problem, you medicate the problem, and make millions and millions of dollars. So I'm going off on a tangent, but I really want to just focus on your story for a second. So you initially went in the hospital. Yeah. You went under. So that was after your fourth visit.
That was day 4. The first visit was 8 days, and so when I came out the first time, they did 2 things. So when I went under, what I'm talking about was day 4. What they ended up doing is they ended up putting a loop recorder in so they could monitor my heartbeat. So I have a loop recorder in.
Do you have any? So there's like a piece of electronics.
Yeah.
Like there's an electronic in your chest.
It's touching my heart, and it basically is taking my heart rate, and it's sending that to every night it sends it to an online monitoring place.
You got like a Wi-Fi signal in you?
Yeah, I'm getting a signal. Yeah. I haven't been stopped at an airport
I don't like
yet.
that either.
No, it was scary.
I don't like
it was
that.
Scary, right?
Like that's just I feel like it's going to come out in the sort of in the near future that we just have too many electronics on us. We got too much EMF. We got too much Wi-Fi. We got too much 5G. I think I really do think it's going to become a thing. I don't think we're supposed to be this radio waved.
Yeah.
I don't think we're supposed to have all these I don't think like an Apple Watch. I don't think we're supposed to have an Apple Watch on our wrist. I don't think we're supposed to be having that EMF just glued to us all the time. And I think it's sort of kind of becoming a thing now. People are realizing that. Like you're starting to see wired headphones. You're starting to see like sort of people go backwards.
True.
But are there do they tell you any side effects or anything with that? Like with
No, not on that. I think they said that I had to carry the card in case I got stopped at the airport. So I have a card that I'm supposed
Remember the
to carry.
microphone. You want to move it a little closer to you so you can lean back.
Yeah,
here.
Yeah. Okay, is this better?
Yeah, is that better?
I apologize.
Oh, you're good.
And so I think that's but in this journey, to summarize it, I had over 15 days in the hospital over a 3-year period of time. I had 2 drugs that I was on. I was on amiodarone, That was the first one, and that had a lot of repercussions if I was on it long term. So he didn't want to keep me on it long term.
So what was the purpose of that drug? This was after
to get
you
me
were
in
under.
rhythm. To get me in rhythm.
Okay.
So I was in chronic AFib, which means that my heart rate, because of the electrical issue, it wasn't going to stay in rhythm. And it's
So do you have a pacemaker now?
no. Just a loop recorder. But typically, a guy my age, what they were saying, a guy my age, typically you don't want to have. I didn't want to have that pacemaker in, right? So we were trying to, and the whole issue was, do I have something that they are aware of? Do they know? Do they recognize? This doctor recognized myocarditis when nobody else was going to recognize myocarditis, and that was in 2021. I feel fortunate that he was aware enough that there were people getting the myocarditis from the vaccination shot. Because if that didn't happen, I would have a pacemaker in me right now, probably going on maybe the second one.
Well, so what year did this happen?
2021.
So it was pretty early. So that's actually awesome that doctor, because the myocarditis stuff wasn't really coming out.
I know.
Big hardcore news until. Well, I mean, it was never hardcore news. It's still not hardcore news.
I know.
You know, like some people still don't even know. Some people still think the vaccine saves lives.
Well, if you go to OSCO, I go to OSCO.
Oh yeah.
They are pushing the vaccination.
It's over. They push it over the freaking intercom.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we were walking
For sure.
around, and all of a sudden, this was, I think it was Jewel Osco. We're
Yeah.
walking around, and all of a sudden, just remember, holiday season
Yeah.
is right around the corner. Make sure before you gather with your family, you get your vaccine. It's like, what is going on? And they're still pushing it with children.
But I think it's a probability thing, right? I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel that the
feel like it's
vaccination shot didn't cause a problem for everybody. You know, there were certain people that had this issue, and I was one of them, right? I was one of the unfortunate. I could have won the lottery. No, I didn't win the lottery. I won this vaccination problem. And so I think it was very fluky. I think there was a lot of stuff going on. And I think that's why there's so much confusion, is that people don't know what to believe, you know, and that's what's upsetting the most, is that I think there's a lot of false narrative out there, and it's hard for people to understand, especially back in 2021. How do you navigate this? You know, what do you do? And that is the part that made me feel the worst, is that I get this issue. All of a sudden, I'm a healthy guy. I get this. I'm dealing with this for 3.5 years, and there's nobody there to help me. I'm getting my bills are coming in. You know, it was very.
I could see like the emotion behind that.
Yeah,
you know,
man,
like I'm sure it's like a draining. Like, oh my god, dude.
I was alone. So my life changed, right? I went from a healthy guy to an unhealthy guy. I went from having no healthcare costs to I was maxing out my healthcare costs. My total annual spend, which was about $18,000 at the time that year in 21 and 22, which I talk a lot about, is controlling your total annual spend. But all those things changed my life, which changed me mentally too. And I wasn't fixed yet, you know? And so a lot of people are like, why are you talking about it now? Why didn't you talk about it three and a half years ago?
Well,
I was sick, right? I was still sick.
Well, you were sick, but also there was this huge push and audience of people saying you're lying.
True.
You're not telling the truth.
True.
You're pushing propaganda when they were the people were trained to do that. I mean, you saw huge news organizations downplaying any adverse reactions. You saw people advertising it's 100% safe and effective, and then you would see, oh, it's 98% safe and effective, and it's 92% safe and effective, and you saw that number dwindle over time.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, maybe it's okay to question science.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that the purpose of science? The purpose of science is to constantly question things. And if you're scared, or if the people that are saying don't question me are the people that I'm going to question. Right away. Especially if you're a scientist, right? If I'm a scientist and I'm very confident in my scientific theory, and I properly did double-blind placebo-controlled studies, and I properly did safety trials, you got nothing to hide. Right?
Right.
So why can't I just, walk in here and double check?
Well, there were so many things. Transparency, I think, is an issue. I think you're talking about transparency.
Yeah.
But you know where I got that COVID vaccination shot was actually at a Kmart that had been, it was vacant. It was stripped down. And when I went in, it was ran by military too, you know. So going in, it was a little intimidating, to be honest.
So that's when you went in.
That's when I went in.
That's where I got my fake COVID vaccine card.
Oh,
So yeah, quick story. So one of those Army things came in, and they were doing their vaccine card. So this Army guy found my gym online.
oh,
Yeah, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here for 3-4 weeks or whatever, like handing out vaccinations. Do you do gym memberships?" And I was like, "Yeah, come on in." And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, "This is it. This is my vaccine card." He comes in, and I was like, "Hey, you give me a vaccine card, I'll give you a discount." And he's like, "Yeah, cool, sounds good."
and he didn't give you the vaccine, but he gave you the vaccine card?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, there was a lot of people. Like, he was pissed that he had to get it too.
Well, true.
Everyone was forced to get it.
That's true.
And I don't know, I do not know anyone that regrets not getting it.
Yeah, true. That's actually an interesting way to put it.
I don't know a single soul that didn't get it and is like, "Oh man, I wish I got it."
That's interesting. Or they still could, right? I
Yeah,
mean, if
you still could.
wanted it,
I mean,
still
they're
could.
advertising the shit out of it.
Right.
COVID's still here. They said it was going to go away.
That's a great point.
I don't know a single person that regrets not getting it.
Yeah.
But I do know people that regret getting it.
I think it preyed on seniors a lot. I think, and to the point about the church opening up, everybody at my church, everybody over 80, they all made sure that they got it, right? And then when I talked to them, it's like, "Oh, I didn't get it." It made them nervous. So I think there was, I think it started in the senior community. At least that's my story. That's my experience with it.
Yeah. It's really weird to look back. It's really weird. It was a very big propaganda push. And if you just follow the money,
Right.
much like many other times in history, especially with big pharmaceutical, like look at the opioid stuff, right? Like there's a whole Hulu show on it, or Hulu show
Yeah.
on it. You know, like
Yeah, I saw it.
the Saxler family. That's
Yeah.
what it is. The
Yeah.
Saxler family. And I mean, I think this is almost a mirror image.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we see dollar signs. We can push this. We can get to the and all you got to do as those pharmaceutical reps is tell the doctors, "Hey, it's safe and effective. I want you to administer this." And then are any of those doctors saying, "Oh, can I see the studies?
Oh, I don't know.
Let me study it. Let me make sure." No, they're not saying that because they're getting paid.
Well, you know what's interesting in my experience too is that 3 or 4 doctors, a few of the doctors knew nothing about, or they wouldn't say, "I know anything about the vaccination." It's like, because I every time I saw a doctor, I would say, "Hey, look, I had the vaccination problem," and so they would look at me sometimes like deer in a headlight, right? Mm-hmm. But I did have a couple doctors. I had this doctor who my second ablation, she was the anesthesiologist, the anesthetist. And she came in and she's like, as soon as she looked at my chart, she said, "Vaccination shot?" I said, "Yeah." "Myocarditis?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "I saw a ton of them." She's like, "I'm on the front line." She's like, I dealt with this.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like that now because I was so outspoken. A lot of people reached out and
Yeah.
I was getting a lot of DMs.
Okay. Well, she was the first doctor that I had met that just was like, "Yeah, I saw it." And yeah. And her point was this, because I said, "Do you think that it was wrong that the way they administered the vaccination shot?" And she said, "What I think was wrong was that there wasn't enough information either way to support it. So the fact that they rushed it without having
it's
support,
very true. It's a good
that was
point.
her problem with it." And
Yeah, there were no real safety trials.
right.
There were no real conducted safety trials, and we didn't. And they kept saying safe and effective, and that you couldn't say that conclusively. You still can't say that conclusively. I mean, if anything, Dr. Peter McCullough,
Yeah.
I showed him to you,
Yeah.
but he came on the show, and he's been a guy that's been, he took the lead on all of this stuff. But they've done a ton of stuff on the vaccine. I'm on his weekly email.
Oh.
And I mean, there's a new thing every week telling me, the latest one was there was like a 500% increase or 500% increase in probability to have respiratory issues if you are COVID vaccinated.
Wow.
But countless things are being studied and found out now.
Yeah.
And what is it, 2025? So
Yeah.
we're 5 years out.
Yeah.
And
How does that make you feel?
how does that make me feel?
Yeah.
It's a huge "I told you so" moment. It's a
Yeah.
huge. It pisses me off.
Yeah.
It drives me insane. And these are all things that I was saying. And I think that choice should always be number one, right? But my biggest thing is to be fully informed.
Yeah.
And how are you going to fully inform someone on something that hasn't been tested or studied or vetted? You can't fully inform them.
But I'd say that transparency that you're talking about, even inform them as much as you know, right? And I don't even think that was the situation. I don't even think there was transparency from the very beginning to say, hey, we don't have enough study to tell you that.
Yeah, and you know what? I would feel different actually if they said that. Be like,
Right.
listen, like we tried to make something really fast.
Right.
We're trying to make it happen. Like there's a pandemic. We're trying our best to
Right.
make it really, really fast.
Right.
We don't really know if it's totally safe and effective, but
Right.
we do think that there are possibilities that it could stop you from getting COVID. And if you are someone who's immunocompromised, maybe we should get it. And if they approached it like that, I think it would be really different.
Yeah.
But instead, they literally said, this will be the winter of severe illness and death. And you have Joe Biden getting on the camera saying, oh, it's hurricane season. Number one thing to do during hurricane season is to get vaccinated. That's real. He did that. Do you know that?
I don't remember that.
So because it was hurricane season, he said the number one thing to do with his freaking dementia brain, you gotta get vaccinated. That's the number one thing we gotta do. And you want to tell me there are no puppets pulling the strings behind saying that? The number one thing to do for hurricane season is to get vaccinated. You know how stupid that sounds? That's the dumbest thing in the world. And I've been radicalized by COVID. Like crazy radicalized. Like I can't see anything and just take it at its face value.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, why did he say that?
Yeah.
All right, why'd Trump say that?
Yeah.
All right, why'd Biden say that? Why
Yeah.
is Fauci saying that?
Yeah.
I mean, and all this stuff with Fauci now, where'd he go?
Yeah.
This is obviously gain of function research,
Yeah.
which he said it wasn't.
Yeah.
The dude should go to jail for life.
Well, again, this is really difficult to navigate because of the transparency issue and even now the confusion, the fact that, you go into OSCO and they're still pushing all these vaccinations, right? And if it was clearly wrong, why would we be able to have vaccinations being offered to everybody,
Money.
right? Right. But that's the confusion of it, I think. The confusion is
I think it's really tough for people to admit that big government entities are choosing money over their actual health.
Yeah, right. Well, and it's hard to believe that in this day and age that that we see all these advertisements for all these drugs and stuff. The fact that we get those, no other country allows that.
There's one other country, right? I think there's
Is
one.
there?
Yeah, but I mean, we are by far the most manipulated by.
Yeah.
And those commercials are the best commercials.
Yeah.
You see like this, a couple dancing in a field with flowers, and they're listing all these side effects. Like you might shit yourself. Your kidneys might give out. You might have a stroke. If you got all these other vaccinations, please consult your doctor
So
first.
scary. Well, and I'm on dofellitide. I was on dofellitide. I'm officially off dofellitide 2 weeks ago.
So what's that one?
Yeah, dofellitide is that's a very serious heart arrhythmia drug. But that particular
When you say serious, what do you mean?
the way it's classified, the classification is that there are
known adverse reactions.
and that it's just a serious classification of drug. There's some drugs that there's not a lot of repercussions if you take it. There's certain drugs that if you take, there's certain repercussions, right? The more repercussions that you can have from a drug, it's like you got to make sure.
I feel like a big one is like liver and kidney.
Right. That's exactly what it was when I onboarded. Where was I going to have issues with those? I was okay with it. So that was good. But
Are you on like liver and kidney support stuff?
No, I'm no, and I'm officially off
I would-
everything now, and
Off prescription.
off prescription.
Right. But you got to be taking your vitamins and stuff, yeah?
Well, we can save that off camera, but
Gosh dang it, dude.
No, and here, let me tell you something. This is what I learned through all this. my body is an amazing machine. And the more that I'm not doing anything and just putting water in it, the right protein and balanced
Whole food, balanced food.
I feel better than I've ever felt at 60, and I don't. It's all natural right now, and I think my hiccup was the vaccination.
I'm going to change that for you.
And now, I think I feel better than I've ever felt. And so it's really hard for me to change this from the perspective, but I do know this. I know the more fit that you are, the more you can control and know how to self-advocate for yourself. And when you go in and talk to a doctor, the doctor's going to be like, hey, you need this. I've got a lot of examples of that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a good self-advocate and you know your body, you can go in and say, hey, doc, I don't really need that because I'm doing this. And hey, doc, I don't need that because it's a business, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what I think people forget is that doctors, they do a lot of good. And it is a business. So it's not the doctor, it's the administration, it's the hospitals. Those are the people that have to make a lot of money to cover all the executive bonuses. And so it's just a trickle-down effect.
I think I might have told you the story before, but this was a really big eye-opener for me. So I was like 20, it was probably right when I was getting my own insurance, actually. And
when you had that motorcycle accident, because you were like 24.
No, that was at the end of college.
Yeah,
that was at the end of college.
It was after that.
Yeah, it was after that. So I'm right. I got to get my own insurance, and I get like a physical. I haven't been to the doctor in I don't know how long, like for like a physical or anything like that. But I remember I go in, and I remember distinctly I came from a workout, and this is like during my times when I would take like stim pre-workouts.
Yeah.
So it was a stim pre-workout. I had caffeine in me, and I'm like still pumped from the gym, right? So I'm getting my physical. My arm is huge from like doing whatever I was doing. They take my blood pressure, and it was like 140 or 130 over 80. Like it wasn't crazy, but it was high.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I just worked out.
Yeah.
He's like, And he starts pulling up my like records and stuff. He's like, well, you got a history of it being like a little high. And like a little high for me was like 130 or 135 over like 80 or 90.
Yeah.
And I do have like a enlarged heart, and I've always known that. I knew that after Dad passed away. But this guy literally was like, you need to be on blood pressure medicine.
Wow. And
I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, like I really, these are your options. Like which one, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I am not getting on blood pressure medicine. There's no chance I'm getting on blood pressure medicine.
In your mid-20s.
I'm in my freaking mid-20s, dude. And I just told him, I was like, I've got caffeine in my system. Like these pre-workouts are no joke.
Yeah.
Like I'm pumped up.
Yeah.
Of course my blood pressure is going to be a little bit high.
Yeah.
I'm feeling humongous right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, is this guy stupid?
Yeah. Well, that's why the number one thing I talk about now, going through what I went through and helping my clients, you got to be a self-advocate of yourself, right? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm trying to say is like, I don't care if you're 20 or 60 or 90, you still have to be an advocate for your health.
You got to take your health into your own hands.
Yeah.
And I'm all for, again, everyone should have the choice to go to the doctor whenever they want or whatever they want to do. But there are so many ways to like attack, let's say, the flu, because we were talking about the flu. There are so many ways to attack the flu naturally.
True.
There are so many ways to build your immune system naturally. But like you're saying, it starts with your grocery cart.
It does. It does.
You are what you eat.
It does.
You are what you eat. If you eat shit, you're going to feel like shit, dude.
Well, and I got to tell you, some people just are blessed with good immunity, good genes, and some people aren't. And
Definitely.
You got to know that. You got to know your body and know what it is, too.
Yeah, the genes could have a higher probability.
Yeah.
But I think your actions and what you put in your mouth and how you treat yourself, that's what's going to like be the smoking gun.
Yeah.
Right? So like if my genes are like, let's use obesity. Like obesity is my favorite one.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm fat because of my genes. Like, no, you're actually fat because you can't fit in your pair of jeans. Like you don't even try to run. You don't try.
Yeah.
Like you're not fat because of your genes. You're fat because you've accepted that you're going to be fat and you've just done things that made you fatter.
That's right. That's right. Well, and it's got to hit at a certain point. I have a nephew on the other side, my sister's side, and she was obese her whole life. She was in the 400 range, and she passed away a long time ago.
You can't tell me that was genes.
Well, there was some of it. Long story, but her son, who is 32 now, he weighed 400 pounds, and about a year and a half ago, he's been on this journey, and he's at like 210 right now.
That's awesome.
He's lost 200 pounds. He's lost a full person, and
that's the best.
But it was the mindset, right? A certain point hit where it's like, I'm not the victim of this. I'm going to change this, and he did. So amazing.
I always tell people there's nothing wrong. Okay, I'm going to sound fat phobic, which I think I am by definition. I'm fat phobic. If you are fat and you are saying you are healthy, that's where I have a problem. Like, oh, I'm fat, I'm beautiful, I'm healthy the way I am. That's not true. You can be healthier. If you are fat and you're trying to be skinny, hell yeah. Like, that is amazing. Or you're trying to make a life change. There's nothing wrong with being fat if you are realizing that being fat is a bad thing. But I will never, this whole like being comfortable in your skin thing and this like every size is beautiful thing, which I don't disagree with that either. You know, I got friends that like fat girls. I've always had friends that like fat girls. And being big can absolutely be beautiful, but it can't be healthier than being a healthy size. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know about that whole topic.
Oh, yes, you do, John. See, now, come on now.
No, listen. This is what I believe. I believe that, you know, we all land certain places. You know, 9 months ago, I weighed 30 pounds more, right? And something hit me where...
Really? You lost 30 pounds?
Yeah. I was in the 200 range
Oh.
not that long ago, right? And you don't look at me and think that, but something's got to...
I do know you're thinner now,
right?
But I didn't know it was 30 pounds on you,
right? And so that's the point: is we don't know what people are dealing. And again, I was unhealthy too. You know, I was having issues. So you don't know what people are dealing with, and so
that's not an excuse though.
Here's my point.
Go ahead, finish. Yeah,
my point is this: is that it's just a mental thing, and it's kind of like, and I just equate all this to being the healthiest version. To one of the benefits is your health care, and so I just keep going back to that window of, you know, health comes in different ways. I know somebody who runs marathons, and you look at them, and you may say, hey, they have more weight than they should. What's it matter, right? Because they're running marathons, so. I don't know. I I think my point is that
you're dancing around it, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm meaner than you.
Well, I don't agree 100% with what you're saying.
So, well, let's debate then.
I don't want to debate that topic. But what I did.
Why can't I debate it really quick? Really quick. Let's do a little debate. What don't you agree with?
I don't want to debate that, but
John, this is the fun part of this.
No,
tell me what you don't agree with.
But what I would want to talk about is
really quick.
Yeah.
You're on my show, damn it. What don't you agree with?
Well, I just think that I think fitness is different for people, you know.
But fitness is still fitness,
right? And I think measuring it it's hard to measure it, right? And it's kind of like, even when I started.
What's hard to measure?
I hired a trainer a couple months ago, and you looked at me, and I looked thin. But before I was starting to get my heart rate up consistently, I looked thin, but I'll tell you what, I couldn't run. You know, I was not in very good shape, you know? And so that's all I'm saying is you just don't know. And
so your argument is that you can be skinny and unhealthy as well.
You just don't. When you look at somebody, it's hard to judge whether they're healthy or not just by that physical first glance and layer. It's hard to tell.
But if the first glance is really fat, can we agree that that's unhealthy? John, come on, man, dude. I just teed up a softball for you.
Yeah.
Because that's my argument.
Again, I
agree with you that you can also be really skinny and unhealthy. Totally agree with you.
Well, you just don't know what you're looking. That's all I'm saying is, so I try not to judge because I really don't know. But I know this. I know in underwriting people's health, the biggest thing that's unhealthy is like conditions like diabetes and stuff like that.
Which is more likely if you're, let's say it together.
I'll let you say it.
overweight, and fat.
Yeah, so those are the things that, like with diabetes and conditional things, those are things that if we control them, we can make a difference. And we call those catastrophes, like cancer and things like that, conditions. Can we control those things? If we can, let's try to do that.
Can we agree that 90% of these health conditions and things are more likely if you're obese?
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
All right. So there's our debate. Our debate can end now.
Yeah, you. But I hope you know what I'm saying too.
I know what you're
and
saying.
how
I
I'm
totally know what you're saying.
navigating this. Yeah.
I'm direct to the point about it.
Yeah.
We had to run around the bush together, but I think we agree. Just being obese, it's not healthy. It's not your best version. And I know it sounds mean when I say it to people, but I wish people can feel how awesome it feels. Okay, when we get together and we work out and we got the music blasting and we're both like, we're feeling each other's arms. We're like, yeah, baby, yeah, come on. I wish I can give that feeling to every fat guy.
Well, but it doesn't just come from the physical part of it. It comes from like the journey too, right?
Totally.
I mean,
totally. But you know how awesome that journey feels when you hit that point.
Oh, for sure.
It feels amazing.
For sure.
And all I'm doing when I it's like I texted my friend the other day because he always tells me, he's like, dude, I gotta get back in the gym. I gotta get back in the gym. That's like the number one thing that people tell me because they know my background.
True. They feel guilty when they talk to you.
Yeah, he always tells me, he's like, I gotta get back in the gym, man. Every time he sees me, I'm like, dude, stop talking to me about getting back in the gym and just go get in the gym, fatty. And I called him fatty.
You can't do that.
Of course you can. Of course you can, especially with like your friends. And he's like, dude, you're freaking right, man. Like he laughed it
That
off.
inspired him.
Yeah, he laughed it off, and I said it in a place of love. I didn't say it like a demeaning way, but if you are big and you are my friend, I'm going to tell you. I just messaged someone the other day that I haven't talked to in a while. He posted something, and I was like, hey, man, you got to get back in the gym because I watched him lose like 50 pounds with me.
Wow.
And he put it back on.
That's amazing.
Dude, who would I be if I didn't say anything?
Yeah. No.
Because like people will be like, "Oh, you're mean about it." I'm like, "No, I'm real about it." And if everyone was like, "Oh, you can't say that," then who the fuck's gonna tell him? Who's gonna let him hear it? Because if he never hears it, maybe he never gets that spark to lose it again.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to be the asshole if it means that in the back of your head, next time you reach for a freaking Twinkie, you're like, oh, you know what? I have gained a lot of weight. Maybe I shouldn't eat this Twinkie.
Well, and I'll say it the nice way, right? I mean, the Twinkie, you eat a bunch of Twinkies every day, you're getting your health care when you're in your 50s and 60s, it's going to be astronomical because you're going to have a lot of issues. You're not going to be able to get life insurance. You're not going to be able to protect your family, possibly because of stuff like that. So I'm just saying from being healthy, how that's going to equate to being healthy costs and healthcare insurance. Sorry, I keep driving it that way.
No, keep driving it that way. But I just.
But that's my mission of it, is to make people aware of it, because like what you do is good because you're dealing with the psychological reason, right? The why. What I'm dealing with is just the kind of like, here's some motivation around costs and
yeah, you're dealing with like the logistics side of things and like the household side of things and like how much is this going to cost, the financial.
And I feel bad for people. You know why? Because they're getting bombarded by all the corporations of eat Twinkies, eat tacos, eat this, eat all this bad food. And that's what the advertising is doing, is they want us to buy the bad food.
Well, we're surrounded by it.
Because it's expensive, right? And then that expensive food will cause us lots of problems. So then we're going to have healthcare problems. And that's what I mean by self-advocacy, is stay focused on that drive. And
I agree with you.
Difference.
And I think it's important to talk about. But I'm also not going to
sugarcoat it.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Yeah, I used to sugarcoat it. I used to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
But like I said, COVID radicalized me that much more.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't saying it, did I ever tell you about one of my best friends messaged me, and he sent me this long text message. And I don't want to say his name. I don't know if he wants to.
Yeah.
But he sent me this long text message. He said, "You might have saved my life." And I was like, "What do you mean?"
Wow.
He's like, my buddy is in the hospital with myocarditis.
Yeah.
and you called me. I called him one day begging him not to get it. I'm like, listen, don't get it, man.
Wow.
Like, and I explained why.
Wow.
I explained the things that were coming out, and he sent me a message thanking me, and then we talked again, I think that night or something like that. But if I didn't say anything, who knows?
Yeah.
You know, if I didn't dig the way I dug, I have an enlarged heart.
Yeah.
If I didn't dig the way I dug,
Yeah.
who knows what that would have done to me?
Yeah.
Like, who knows? Maybe maybe that gene, maybe my genes of enlarged heart, maybe that would have been like this, like the vaccine would have been the smoking gun for me.
It could have.
It could have been.
Because it approaches everybody different. It affected everybody different.
I bet there's an argument to say it is more likely that vaccine would have killed me than helped me. Yeah. I'll bet you. Yeah. I would bet money on it that vaccine was more likely to kill me than it was to save me from the super deadly COVID that I had.
Yeah.
And COVID wasn't even the worst thing I've ever had.
Yeah.
You know, the worst thing I ever had was a flu. It really was.
Do you remember in 2022, though, we went from like whatever, millions of cases of the flu, no COVID vaccination.
The flu just disappeared.
So all of a sudden, no cases of the flu and millions of cases of
The fact that didn't get...
That was really crazy for me.
Yeah. Well, it's obvious what it was.
Yeah.
Right? It's obvious what it was. They were labeling everything as COVID.
It was so weird. Like we didn't understand that. But again, it was confusion, right? Just I think all that confusion was hard for people to understand. Even now, Steve, that's what I'm saying is like, I think your point is you see it pretty black and white. You see
I do now.
You do.
And I think that's good and bad.
Yeah.
I think that's good and bad. Because if anything comes out of like the media's mouth, the scientist on TV's mouth, even my doctor's mouth, which I don't even know who my doctor is because I never go to the doctor.
You should.
I have some sort of PPO, but I don't know. Anyway, I do think it's bad. Right, it's bad that I've become so, we'll say, radicalized. I like that word because you
don't trust anything coming out of their mouth now.
I don't trust anything.
Right.
I would rather. Yeah, it's good and bad. I'll just say that it's good and bad, and I know that, and I recognize it, and I try to navigate with my own.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice to myself.
Yeah.
I'm very abrasive with my opinion. Well, with certain things.
Your strong opinion, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very opinionated, and I'm willing to debate at any moment at any time.
I know.
Right here, But so you brought this today, and I want to go over it because I know this is really important to you, and this is kind of your passion right now. But can we go over this thing that you brought? And so self-advocacy you've been pushing. So with everything that you've been dealing with all these health issues and maximizing your health insurance, what sort of guidelines, what sort of advice do you have? How would you navigate it differently today, or what would you do with a different plan?
Yeah, that's great. Well, watching healthcare insurance today, the first thing is that the way it is, Blue Cross Blue Shield, it's called fully insured, which means it covers everything. Fully insured is what we call prepaid. It basically has catastrophes built in it. So everybody that goes through Blue Cross Blue Shield, the catastrophe is cancer. So we have to have enough premium in there that if everybody has cancer, we got to cover it. So that's why the cost for Blue Cross Blue Shield is so high now, is it covers all the catastrophe. What's happening is we're moving to a model where take catastrophe out of it. If you're not going to have conditions like the diabetes and cancer, healthcare is not that expensive, right? You take that kind of stuff out.
So it's more expensive if you have these conditions. So it is like a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never really looked into it very much. I've always just kind of chose the cheapest option.
Yeah.
So like if you are trying to get insurance, you are cheaper if you are of less risk, correct?
Yes. Oh my God, you get it. That's well said. No one says it like that. You're less risk because you're healthy and you don't have cancer and you don't have conditions. You're the lowest cost out there because a young female, a young male, 21-year-old male, he's the lowest cost. He's not even going to the doctor. I mean, so you look at it that. As I get older, at my age, I'm very expensive to insure, especially after everything I went through.
So does your expensive becomes more as you run into all these health issues?
Yeah.
See, that's bullshit.
Because that's underwriting, right? Underwriting is, oh, he's had a heart issue. Even though I'm fine now.
Wait, explain underwriting. So define underwriting.
Yeah, good point. Underwriting is basically what they use to say, are you healthy or not? These are basically analysts that come in. Underwriters are basically looking at the risk. So they're pulling all your healthcare history, it's called GRX underwriting, which is access.
So it's like it's an analytic view of your health.
Yes.
And it's a risk reward or cost benefit analysis of this person from a health perspective.
Right. And they do this, the carriers do that because they want to make sure they understand if they're going to make a profit, right?
Again, follow the trail of money.
That's right.
But so my thing is that 21-year-old shouldn't have to pay for all these other people.
Well, that's the difference. You can buy insurance either composite, which is everybody bundled together, or age rated. So employers are looking at, do I do age rated or I do composite? The problem is, what kind of group are you and who are you trying to attract? And so it gets very complicated when you're looking at what's the best solution for you. So that's what makes it interesting too, So
would you recommend? Okay, so if I'm in my 20s, well, it depends on your employer. You said
yes,
right.
Because
I'm different. I'm a business
in a group
owner.
plan. Right. And that's even bad because you're on typically business owners that don't have a group plan. They're on the individual market, which is good. You're on the individual market, but some of those plans where the premiums may not seem that high, they're comparable to the group plans. Their out-of-pocket maxes might be super high. So if you get sick, their out-of-pocket max might be $30,000 or $25,000.
And that's for annually.
That's annually. So those are the types of things that I consult with. It's typically better to be on a group plan than an individual plan because of the out-of-pocket costs and the deductibles. And
so in a group in a group plan, the out-of-pocket cost is less.
Typically, the plans that are coming out are going to be less, right? And the employer is contributing to that. The employer has to contribute at least 25% in Illinois. So if he brings on a group plan, he has to pay his employees at least 25% of that group plan coverage. Whereas a business owner on the individual, you're paying all that cost. It's all out-of-pocket costs on your own, and you can't write it off. That's the other thing is a group plan. As the employer, you can write that off. The cost of it for implementing the plan. So yeah, there's a lot.
So with Illinois specifically, it's kind of almost like monopolized by Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah, yes, and that's fully insured, and it's shifting though because we've moved a lot of companies to what's called level funded, which is kind of a hybrid where the risk is shifted.
Is Blue Cross Blue Shield the only one out there?
Fully insured. United Healthcare has a fully insured as well too, but United Healthcare also has what's called level funded. It's more like a pay-as-you-go. Self-insurance is pay-as-you-go. So there's fully insured Blue Cross Blue Shield. There's self-insurance, which is basically pay-as-you-go. So if you're healthy, you're not paying for the catastrophe. And there's plans out there for that and for groups too. And typically the large companies have figured this out. Like corporations are all on self-insurance. In the middle is level funded. Middle is level funded where the risk is kind of split. But we're moving people from Blue Cross Blue Shield to level funded plans and saving like 30% and still getting the same coverage, the same network. And
so would that be your recommendation then to move to level funded?
Right now, it's working for healthy groups. Level funded only works with healthy groups. So if someone on your group has cancer,
it's not great.
It's not going to work. The premiums will be too high, or they won't get written
for the year. The premium is the yearly
for the
payment.
year. That's right. So level funded is working for healthy groups. We're saving 20 to 30%. We've moved. Let's say we have probably 270 customers. We've moved a third of them, 85, 90 customers to level funded over the last year. So now Blue Cross Blue Shield losing all these clients right now.
They're raising their prices.
Well, I think they're going to have to lower. They're coming out with a level funded plan themselves, but it's, as you can hear me saying, it's disrupted, right? Things are like a little bit shifting and chaotic.
It's good.
It's good. And this is good. Like controlling your costs, being a good self-advocate is important. There's a bunch of tips on here, but one that I like the most is prescription savings.
Well,
So-
you also let's go down the list though. You said challenge
You
medical
want to spend time
orders.
on them? Okay, I can do that.
Let's go over it really briefly though. So
Well, I appreciate that.
Challenge medical orders when necessary. What do you mean by that?
Okay, this is interesting. So recently, as I'm
What time are we at? Do you know?
recently as I'm getting better. Oh,
Okay.
We're an hour and a half, aren't we?
I don't remember when we started.
Probably 12:30, but probably an hour.
Okay, we're good. Let's get through our paper and then we'll
Sum
be
it
good.
up.
Yeah. Okay, so challenge medical orders when necessary.
So this is interesting. I'm getting better, and I told my doctor that I don't feel 100% right, and I said I want to do a stress test, and he's like, okay, let's do a stress test, precautionary. Let's do a basic one. When he gave me the order, he ordered it for the Taj Mahal test, the nuclear test.
Of course he did.
The difference of that is $9,000. So that $9,000. So what I did though is I called him back. I said, Doc, I didn't get a hold of the doctor. I got a hold of the nurse. She went to him. He's like, of course you can do the basic. That's what we said. The difference of the cost of $9,000. That $9,000 that I just saved, that's the employer cost. And in the level funded, if you have a lot of claims, you're not going to get money back. It's not going to work. So you want to keep those claims down. So by pushing back, we didn't get that $9,000 claim. Plus, I didn't have to spend an additional $3,000 on my out-of-pocket max. So it saved me $3,000. So there's examples of that all the time.
I think you make a super awesome point, because every single time. And I think there are good doctors out there. I know it sounds like I'm anti-doctor, which I am in the sense that of self-advocacy. I think first and foremost, you should take care of things in your home. You should get things in order with yourself.
Yes.
The doctor is absolutely necessary.
Yes.
Absolutely. Like I had tonsillitis, and I had to go to the doctor to get my prescription because I was just dying.
Yeah. Couldn't even talk.
Yeah, it was bad, dude. It was bad. I think they're totally necessary, but they're necessary for those extreme cases.
Yeah.
I don't think a doctor is necessary to go see every year.
No, well.
If you're good, you're good.
Precautionary, I would say go ahead and do
Yeah.
your annual visit. And it's included. It should be included in your
It should be
healthcare.
included, yeah.
So no
for
cost.
your included. So yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I'll step back.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
Go annually.
Did I win a debate?
I'll give it to you. I'll give you the W.
I've never won a debate.
Not with me.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Go to your annual visit. We'll agree. I should start doing that too. But if you have a cold, if you're sick, if you have a cough,
Yes.
you don't need to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
If you have a little bit of a backache, you don't need to necessarily go to the doctor. Obviously, it's a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
But I think the doctor should be a supplement to what you're already doing.
Yeah. And you should be a self-advocate. Like that's what you're talking about. You're talking about being an advocate.
Mm-hmm. I kind of lost my train of thought where I was going with that.
Sorry.
No, you're good. But anyways, I was just saying, I think a lot of doctors are going to be like, because they're in the world of making money.
Yeah.
They are in
Yes.
health. They are in fitness. Well, no, they're not in fitness. A lot of the doctors I see are a little overweight, but they are in health. They are supposed to be for people's health, and they're
Yes.
taught a certain way to do this scheme,
Yes.
right? But I think that if there's an opportunity, they're going to run that $9,000 test.
Yeah.
I think they're going to hit you with the biggest one. I think they're going to hit you with the bells and whistles. It's like a car salesman. A car salesman's going to try to sell you the Escalade that's fully outfitted with the heated, the cooled, the Sirius XM radio. He's going to try that first, and then he's going to water it down. Well, if you don't want the heated and cooled seats, we do have just the Cadillac XL model. And then if you don't want the XL model, he's going to start at the top. So it's really important. I think that's an awesome point that you made, is to challenge it.
You're right though. It's mitigation though. I think they see it as mitigation, right? If we do the big test first and we rule that out, then we go this way, and that's how they, I think, say, hey, it's just not corporate greed. We're trying to mitigate and rule stuff out. So it's complex, right? It's not easy to know You know, if they're trying to just gouge or
And
or not.
sometimes it might be necessary to get that $9,000
Yes,
test.
yes.
So go ahead, keep going.
So I think that's big. I think the other thing is that we put doctors on pedestals, right? And to your point, that sometimes besides just healing you, there's other motives. So I think that's the one thing is that you got to be aware of. Let's change that thinking. You know, doctors are there to help us. We're not there to put them on a pedestal and say everything you do we agree with. So I think that mindset has to change. I mean, it just does.
Point blank period. I agree with that so much.
And I have a lot of cases of that. Like when I was in the hospital for the 15 days, when I went in, I would document everything. Oh, 152, I had a heart ping. 156, she came in and gave me a thing. I would go through everything. So when they would try to tell me things that weren't right, I would pull it up and just say, "You
awesome.
told me this at 152," right? And there's a lot of work in being a self-advocate. But I'm telling you, it's going to save you a lot of money. It's going to save you a lot of money, and you're going to feel sane because what's happening is we're giving the power for people to control our health, and then we don't understand it, and then we're like, oh, we're spending a lot of money and we don't understand it. We're not healthy. So,
Yeah, that's a great point too. Yeah, you basically said what I was just saying too. Like your doctor isn't always right.
Right.
You know, like sometimes the best answer is your answer.
That's right.
You know, and I think that's where a good relationship is going to come in handy.
I agree.
And finding a doctor that aligns with your views, values, and things like that.
I agree.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, what were you saying about these prescription savings?
This is a big, that's the next one on the list. This is a big one. When I had my heart issues, they wanted to put me on Eliquis. So they put me on Eliquis. And it was probably like 5 months in. I was paying $543 a month for my Eliquis, and no one told me anything. This is before I was in healthcare insurance too. I was at my other company, so I wasn't in healthcare insurance at the point. And so for 5 months, I was paying $543 for Eliquis, and then someone at the pharmacy said, "Hey, you should look into GoodRx. It's a discount." I look at the GoodRx. It's $10. So from that point on, once I signed up for GoodRx, it was $10. I was paying $443 times, so I paid $2,000 more. And there's a ton of people out there doing it. So every client that I go to, I'm like, you got to put the discount app on your phone, and then just make sure you look up any prescription because they're gouging, right? Right when people be telling you at a discount, but they're not, and so
Because they make more money.
Well, it's a problem.
Money is the problem, I think, for a lot of things. I think money is the root of all evil. If we want to get really technical, and these are the conversations that we have off camera.
I know. But that's my point, though, is if you're a self-advocate of knowing this now, right, they're not going to tell you, but you're going to put it on because you know.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you were paying $443. What'd you say?
Yeah, extra a month for 5 months. So 2,000.
Did you go to anyone about that? Did you say like, hey?
Oh, I was ticked.
What's up with this, dude?
And it was a big deal.
That was out of pocket. That was out of pocket, or you were past your premium at that point?
At that point, yeah, I was paying it right. It was like it was the amount that was negotiated on my Blue Cross Blue Shield at the time. That was the cost for that drug. And so
amount that was negotiated.
So it was coming out of my out of pocket.
They negotiated the amount. It's not a set amount. It's a negotiated.
Yeah, it was negotiated. That was the cheap rate for. That's what they were telling me.
We're really giving you a discount here if you take a look. That's why I use the car salesman example. Hey,
prescriptions is bad.
Yeah, the car salesman example. Look at here. You know what? You're the owner's friend. You know, I'm gonna give you a discount. I'm gonna take two. I'm gonna take two for you. For you. You know what? You got a blue shirt on today. We're gonna give you the blue shirt discount.
Well, that's like Mark Cuban, and his company. He's, all I'm seeing is there's companies.
Is he GoodRx?
He's not GoodRx.
Oh, okay. Because I know he was doing something, right?
Yeah, I should know the name of it, and I don't. So, but
wow,
it's a different one.
Way to go, John.
But the point is that you've got to advocate for the prescription side of it. Another one that I like is another move is HSAs, health savings accounts. So health savings accounts are only associated with high deductible accounts. The government says with high deductible accounts, since you're paying the first in and it's expensive, we'll let you save money and be tax deductible. So an HSA is basically saving tax deductible.
I've literally never heard of that.
Well,
that's kind of crazy.
A lot of people don't, and it's like you've got to put that money aside because let's say, and you have so much money per year you can save right now. I think it's $4,500 coming up for 2026 that you can put away as an individual. So whatever tax bracket you're in, if you pay through your HSA the $4,500, let's say it's 25%, you're only paying $3,000 or $3,300, because of the tax savings. Mm-hmm. So we make sure that all our people are educated and that any case that we can implement a health savings account plan. Again, you're saving the tax money. And again, I could go through all these, but more than anything,
wrap it up. Wrap it up the best you can.
This is the way that I choose to work with my clients. Is look, healthcare insurance is expensive. Let's find the best plan for you. But let's also maximize all these plans and get the most out of it and chip away at the cost.
If obviously you're my uncle and I'm not your client, but if you approached me like this, if you're like, listen, man, here's what we're gonna do first.
Yeah,
we're gonna fix your health.
Yeah.
Here's what we're gonna do first.
Yeah.
Well, first we're gonna evaluate. Hey, how are we spending our grocery money? Hey, are you eating good?
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah. Because it shows you care.
Yeah,
it's like when I sell something at the gym.
Great idea.
It's the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I tell people, listen, like, I don't want to steal your money, right? And I've told you about this with my new business plan too. But I want to make that new gym. But anyways, I want you to squeeze me.
Yeah.
For everything, like if you're paying us $200 a month as a client. I want you to get $2,000 of value.
That's how I feel too.
And I tell people, I'm like, well, the first place to save money is to stop getting fast food.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm an investment.
Yeah.
And the way you're going to get the most out of me is if you take you're not just spending your hour with me. I want to be in your head 24/7. I want to be in your head when you go to reach for that Twinkie.
Yeah.
I want to be in your head when you are scrolling through your phone and you're not getting the proper sleep to recover with.
Yeah.
That's when I want to be in your head because that hour of time is so minimal compared to the 23 hours and how you're spending those 20. So it's the same concept here. Like if you go if you're selling it like, hey, like I want to be your client. I want to help you. I want to get you insurance. But in order to get the best, we need to make you the best.
Yeah.
Ooh, did I just give you your tagline?
Well, you know what's funny? You're just talking about risk mitigation, right? And if people ate healthy 24 hours a day when we're not there and they did all the right things, then right?
It makes your job easier. It makes their pocket fatter.
It does. But keep in mind, flukes happen. Like that vaccination shot, right? That vaccination changed my life. Healthy guy.
Stuff happens. Cancer happens.
Shit happens.
But I would argue, and this is where it gets a little gray with my claims and my conspiracy theories. I think cancer is much less likely if you are aiming for that healthy life.
Yeah.
If you're doing extra things.
Agree.
If you're trying not to be obese, if you're trying not to take in like inflammatory foods, if you're trying to be really conscious and just drink water instead of your Coca-Cola,
You're right. It's an effort, right? It's what you put into it.
Yeah.
Better chance, less risk.
Well, this is awesome, man. You taught me some things today. Hugely appreciate it. I love you. Awesome. I love you so much.
You're awesome.
I love you so much. This has been so fun. A word of advice to part with, like if you had to give, going through what you went through, having your background of insurance, like what would be the advice that you give?
Yeah, you probably heard me say
talk to the people your age.
Yeah, I would. That's good. Again, self-advocacy. I think people our age, we put doctors on the pedestal, and I think through my experience and what I've learned is just the best way to navigate all of it is just be involved, care about your health, be concerned.
Become informed.
Be always informed. But even like as things happen, like what happened to me with this vaccination shot, I would say this in general. I would never do a vaccination shot. I wouldn't look at somebody else, my parents, say, don't do a vaccination shot, but know my story and know what I went through. And just, again, we have to make choices that are best for ourselves and
Fully informed consent. Informed
fully
consent.
informed. And on the business side, I would say, I believe in high integrity. I believe in, fighting the corporations and getting the best care that you can at the lowest cost. I think we can do that in the States. And that's my mission, to help people and fix this mess. So that's my mission. Whether I get another day on this planet or I get 15 years or 20 years, I'm going to help try to make healthcare affordable and really help people with their true problems. Anyway, that's it.
Well, I think that's part of the reason that we are so close too, because we have the same mission.
Yeah.
We want to help people.
Yeah.
Mine's a little bit more abrasive than yours.
Well, you're pretty big. You're a trainer too. You're
But anyways,
influential.
Thanks for finally coming on after I've been asking you for 2 years.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Been fun.
Yeah.
But we're going to go work out now, right?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's go, baby.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you guys enjoyed the show.